From legendary scorers to indoor defenders, the NBA has seen a surprising variety of skills, including some outstanding ball handling. These players outdid the defenders with their unique arms and lightning-fast crosses. And today, to honor the pitch, we're counting the 10 best dribblers ever. Number 10, Jamal Crawford. Jamal Crawford was one of the most exciting players in the NBA. Crawford's dribbling prowess is a key factor in this. You would think that the defenders swarming Crawford were skating. One of the finest hesitation plays to stop opponents is Crawford's. His ability to pause and then cross over to blast by or draw up for the jumper is what makes him such a lethal offender. Crawford's ability to pull up and leap is what has made him an all-around player. Every time Crawford touches the ball, you can hear the fans gasp in anticipation. Number 9, Stephen Curry. Although Steph Curry is regarded as one of the all-time great shooters, he is also well known for his great ball handling abilities. He is a talented player who can open up scoring chances with his dribbling skills. Curry has distinguished himself as one of the greatest point guards in the NBA since joining the league in 2009 and has won many MVP honors. Curry's ability to handle the ball with speed, agility, and accuracy is impressive. He can shift directions instantly and takes a rapid first step. One of the most potent scorers in NBA history, he is a master at exploiting his dribble to open up space for his shot. Number 8, Isiah Thomas. There may not have been a player more difficult to defend than Isiah Thomas during a time when Magic, Bird, and Jordan all predominated. He had a wide range of techniques for dismantling you, but they were all executed with lightning speed. Isiah occasionally moved so quickly that he would trip over himself and break his own ankles, yet surprisingly he was still able to dribble while on the ground. Thomas was only a little over 6 feet 0 inches, which made it exceedingly difficult for larger players to stop him off the dribble because of his low-to-the-ground dribble. Thomas played with such grit and as though he were 10 feet tall. He was able to move around the floor and establish himself as a dominating force because to his once-in-a-generation dribbling abilities. Number 7, Chris Paul. There are times when Chris Paul appears to be able to go wherever he wants on the court. Although Paul is not the best dribbler, he is always in charge. His extremely low dribble helps him maintain control. He has a vast repertoire of maneuvers that he can combine and is an expert at shifting speeds. When it comes to Paul, his turnover rate definitely sticks out. Chris Paul does not frequently handle the ball, yet point guards are among the worst for turnovers. He has only ever cracked the top 40 once in his career. That is an unheard of statistic for a player who touches the ball as frequently as Paul does, and it demonstrates how much control he has over his dribble. Number 6, Bob Cousy. The Houdini of Hardwood is one of the greatest basketball nicknames, and what a perfect moniker for Bob Cousy. He introduced innovations to a basketball floor that had never been seen before. He was Flash before Flash existed. Because his college coach did not like his intriguing style of play, Cousy was once benched. As a result, he would go on to become an NBA favorite. With his dribbling and ball handling talents, he was a real pioneer who transformed the way basketball fans viewed the sport. Although his abilities would never compare to some of the modern greats, his maneuvers were astounding at the time. Bob Cousy was the first player to use maneuvers like the behind-the-back dribble, spin moves, and the no-look pass. A list like this would not have existed without Cousy. Number 5, Jason Williams. As a member of the Sacramento Kings in 1999, Jason Williams swept the league. Williams led the Kings, a youthful, aggressive, fast-paced squad, with his variety of dribbling and passing abilities. Watching Williams run a quick break was breathtaking. Williams employed a behind-the-back dribble as his hallmark technique to evade opponents. Williams could throw a pass from any angle and had excellent vision. Without turning around, behind his back, or even off his elbow, he could toss a pass. He was the kind of athlete that would get the fans to stand up while making the coaches want to scream. To the enjoyment of the fans, Williams enjoyed the theatrical and would frequently make plays more spectacular than they needed to be. Number 4, Pete Maravich. Pistol. Although Pete Maravich was not the first player to execute a behind-the-back dribble or a no-look pass, it was the way he skillfully combined all those aspects that set him apart. He never followed the norm, everything was a performance to him. If I have a choice between doing the show and throwing a straight pass, and we're going to get the basket either way, I'm going to do the show, said Maravich once. He demonstrated the definition of creativity and what amazing things might be done while dribbling a ball. Maravich was constantly at the back of your mind as you wondered what would happen next. He managed to blend all this flair with outstanding scoring ability. Maravich's actions in the 1970s completely altered the rules of the game. Number 3, Allen Iverson. You know you have greatness ahead of you when your first significant crossover occurs against Michael Jordan, and that was the case with Allen Iverson. He altered the crossover procedure. Everyone else's crossover was far lower than his, and his motion back to the other hand was much more pronounced. The most devout will argue that Iverson was carrying the ball, and that he was caught as the maneuver gained momentum. Iverson was a brilliant dribbler for other reasons other only his crossover as well, such as the quickness with which he would move into scoring position. This helped Iverson rank among the greatest scorers in NBA history. It's hardly surprising that Iverson rates this high when you consider his creativity in the crossover and his quickness. Number 2, Tim Hardaway. Whether you want to refer to it as the killer crossover or the UTEP two-step, the fact remains that it was the quickest crossover in NBA history. Tim Hardaway began his career in Miami after leaving Run TMC in Golden State. His killer crossing was the only thing that never left him. By drawing the defender back between his legs before crossing him over, Hardaway offered a unique variation to the conventional crossover. A lot of others have subsequently imitated this move. The one aspect of Hardaway's crossover that copycats have had trouble replicating is its extreme quickness. He passed you by in the span of a single blink of an eye. He could perform it while moving up the court at full speed or while standing stationary. Hardaway almost never wasted a movement. He was generally close to the defender after 2 rapid movements. The Hardaway crossover remains the best dribbling motion for getting past a defender. Number 1, Kyrie Irving. The Uncle Drew advertisements, in which Kyrie Irving dresses up as an elderly guy and coaches young kids on the street courts, were one of the few things Pepsi Max got right. You can really appreciate Irving's abilities in these advertisements. Irving possesses one of the finest in-and-out dribble skills ever witnessed with impressive change of direction quickness. The majority of Irving's moves, he believes, are straightforward, and the trick is having a counter for each one. His off-season trainer likened him to the legendary Barry Sanders, and that comparison is accurate. Similar to Sanders, Irving appears to be able to spot an opening before it manifests itself, positioning the defender to cut back into it. When everything is said and done, Irving may be regarded as the best dribbler ever,